The town of Lashburn got a boost from the federal government through a new national program that aims to rehabilitate and improve existing community infrastructure. Over the next 2 years, the Community Infrastructure Improvement Fund will invest $150 million into projects across the nation. Work is already underway for the town of Lashburn after applying for the grant a few months ago.
There was a kind of an infrastructure grant application that came to the town, and we decided that we should maybe pursue it and see if we could get some funding for, various projects in the town.
Over $24,000 from the feds will help the town improve the library, museum, and lace-up shack at the outdoor rink.
We put together the list as a council, based on some criteria that we had, just what were priorities. And the library, of course, was a priority. It needed new windows and some roof upgrades and stuff like that. The lace-up shack for the outdoor arena was another one that we had talked about rebuilding after the other one had to be torn down. The outdoor rink has quite a few kids that are active out there, and we thought it'd be nice to have kind of a shelter and lace-up shack there, so that was the other one. And the upgrades to the museum, that was improving the handicap ramp for the access to the original structure of the museum.
Mayor Turnbull says this funding will help the town keep up with aging infrastructure without having to look at raising taxes.
Tax dollars and budgets are always stretched with the regular stuff, so if there's improvements that need to come up, it makes a big difference to the kind of the financial bottom line to get access to grant money.
It is not known yet when renovations will be finished on the various projects. A crime prevention program in Prince Albert is garnering attention right here in the border city. It's called Community Mobilization, a program that uses community support to prevent crime and violence instead of dealing with it after it happens. As Naramanisa reports, while there is a violence prevention program in place here, city officials as well as police and school board officials were interested in learning more about this initiative.
A packed house filled the Legacy Center to hear from officials in Prince Albert. It's part of a crime symposium where members of City Council, RCMP, school divisions, and area residents took part. They were learning more about the Community Mobilization Program that has been in place for over a year now in Prince Albert.
It was basically started with the city police in Prince Albert, and I think they realized that the way things were going in PA, they were never going to be able to get enough police to deal with what was going on.
The program includes several agencies, including police, social services, mental health, and educators. Here in Lloydminster, there is a similar initiative. It's called the Violent Threat Risk Assessment Program. Dr. Michael Diachuk, the Director of Education for the Public School Division, says he's impressed with their system.
This model here that we heard today really allows us to look at it in a more preventative model. We may have the crisis that we deal with in vitro, but then we may take that incident and say, okay, what do we do?
The program only works if the community bands together.
The reality is, though, is that we don't solve all the issues ourselves, and we're going to need the commitment of other agencies along with police and education in order to solve some of these issues.
Lloydminster's top cop says he would like to see something like this take off here.
I don't think that you need to hit bottom before you maybe implement a program that's going to be advantageous to the public.
As for results, Sergeant Schneider says it's difficult to pinpoint exact numbers and statistics, but that there is improvement.
We're finding increased confidence in the relationships amongst the frontline service providers. Police are seeing a reduction in calls for service within the city.
Naramanisa, Newcap News.
Well, it's been a tradition in the border city since the early 1990s, pairing various businesses together to buy and decorate beautiful evergreens. The trees were on display over the weekend, but tonight is the main event, with each tree being auctioned off to the highest bidder. Victorian Magic is the theme for this year's Festival of Trees, with proceeds going to the Richard Larson Bar Colony Foundation.
We started at the museum and we've continued to expand, and now we're bigger than this even at times, so we're thinking we may have to move on again.
With the festival the foundation's only large fundraising event for the year, the gala always sees huge support from the community.
Some of them have gone for $2,000, $2,400, yeah. And we just feel the decorators have put so much into them. The trees are sponsored by companies, as you may have noticed by the signs, and then the decorators donate their decorations, and their company or individual gets recognition for that.
The night will also feature a silent auction with 60 to 70 items, everything from artwork to great gift ideas. On tonight's edition of Retrospect, this week from the archives, meteorite hunters combed the region after a flash of light filled the sky. And we look back at the opening of the bi-provincial upgrader. Brian Hardy has all the details.
Last week we reported on the meteor. This week, the resulting meteorites.
After days of analyzing videotape and speaking to locals for eyewitness accounts, a University of Calgary search team has tracked down parts of last week's fallen meteorite.
I mean, the number of meteorites here is in the thousands.
The research team from the University of Calgary came out here on a whim, and as fate would have it, they found the rock embedded in the frozen ice of the pond. The fallen rocks now belong to the landowner. They are considered to be cultural property, and if they are ever to be exported, it would require a special permit. The frenzy will continue over the weekend for the university crew, but reality has already set in.
I'm told currently the forecast is for snow on Tuesday.
Tom Gazzola, Newcap News.
It's November 1992 and Lloydminster had reason to celebrate.
The upgrader is here and it's now.
After a decade of discussions and 4 years of construction, both the upgrader and the border city are ready to celebrate.
We should be very proud that we officially open this plant today.
So the batch is on its way. The upgrader is officially open.
The switch was thrown this afternoon, signaling the completion of construction and the commencement of operations. And at 35,000 barrels a day, the upgrader is helping to create new demand for crude oil. Prices have increased from $6 a barrel prior to the start of production to $14 now, 3 to 4 of which officials claim is a result of the upgrader. Border City residents will have their own opportunity to celebrate at a dinner and dance tonight and with bus tours of the facility through the weekend. Michael Higgins, News Hour.
Join us next time when we first have to click it or get a ticket on Retrospect, this week from the archives.
Retrospect this week from the archives is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
That's all the time we have tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.
Good night.
Makeup provided by Vivid Hair and Aesthetics.